Charlie Brown got this, there's a date, 1947.
Yep. And then he painted here. Charlie wrote on here, Charlie's friend, somebody did, hand painted or handmade gold pan from John Pearson, Susanville, Oregon. Susanville's just Middle Fork, yeah, right, another big mining area. And then here it was made in 1885.
So you are a camp director.
Yes. With the Multicultural Association and Southern Oregon Indian Center.
So you're with the Forest Service?
Yeah, I work for the Forest Service as an archaeologist, but since moving out to the west, I've done a lot with fire archaeology as well, and learning about how cultural practices of burning on the landscape have really benefited, whether it's natural or cultural resources on the landscape. So historically, the Forest Service has done a lot of fire suppression activities with big wildfires, and along with climate change, we've seen a lot of fuel loading.
Okay, you were saying that you worked with indigenous people and
Yeah, I work with the Southern Oregon Indian Center and in conjunction with the Multicultural Association, and we've been putting on indigenous culture camps for many years in the mid-2000s, and then we stopped and then we started up again this year.
So we have we dug two back kind of in the areas where the pool was demoed. We dug two trenches with a backhoe, and then we looked at the walls of those to see where there's changes in the content, in the color, in the makeup and stuff, and those tell us kind of what was going on. We have 3 of those that we mapped out.
And we just had our camp up at Lake of the Woods, and it's basically was indigenous led, and with our a lot of elders that we use that do the teachings through storytelling.
So yeah, we're finding lots of very interesting stuff.
It's a hands-on where youth are dealing with artifacts and creating things that natives use, such as chokers and shawls and stuff, and we do that, and towards the end of the camp we have a powwow where they all participate. They're making objects that they or gifts, really gifts for themselves and gifts for others, using native teachings, and we develop a full community from day one to the end of camp, that everybody is welcomed into the camp and everybody has value.
So could you give us a quick rundown?
Sure, yeah. So what we have here are examples of features and artifacts that we've found on the forest.
Oh, a day in the life of a Chinese miner.
So one thing that I love working with is LiDAR technology. So basically ground radar.
I could talk about this forever.
Well, let's go back to the young people and the changing world, and how are they participating in?
They are very active. They see what's going on, and they do want change. The youth do.
So I'm Don Merritt. I'm the curator for Kam Wah Chung here, State Parks, and we are right now doing a little bit of archaeology work. And currently we are just scanning a unit to see what is in the ground here, so we can continue our understanding of what's going on.
Right. With I'm speaking about weather with the fires, the droughts.
Yeah, with the climate change, they realize there's issues there that they need to be one with the earth and to be partners with the earth and take what they need but not what they want. So,
that's very significant. Just take what you need.
right, exactly.
We actually got $50 million from the general obligation bond from the state legislature for state parks. And we got a portion of that. We're only one of 7 state parks to get that money. And so we're going to be using it to build a brand new interpreter center right over in that kind of open area where the pool used to be.
Do they do dances and?
Yes, we teach traditional dance, and we have traditional regalia that the natives will wear. So there's different dances. There's the sneak up duck. There's over 100 tribes in the road area. If you think, and some of them aren't, they're not recognized, but they are tribes.
So my question is, are they actively working on helping nature as far as bringing more water? Because the droughts
Yes.
are so bad in southern Oregon.
They are working in the way of more of the spiritual and bringing the balance. And that's where it all begins. You have to have the spiritual balance that
So they're working on this within.
within and trying to develop stronger ties to that, where because a lot of the native youth have experienced our culture, basically,
Yes.
and so to get back to the roots of what the culture is and why there is a need for that balance.
So you mentioned that you were called down to this big last New Mexico fire.
Yeah, so New Mexico right now is seeing one of their largest wildfires in their state history, and the Calf Canyon Hermit's Peak fire. I was able to spend about 2 weeks down there working with the archaeological resources and part of the resource advisor group on how to recover and how to respond in a quick way to the catastrophic nature of that wildfire.
Well, if you're from Southern Oregon, you probably are aware of Grandma Aggie. And we've worked with her for
Oh, no, I'm not.
Grandma Aggie? She was one of the 13 grandmothers that went around the world from Native. She was the last
From
living-
where?
For Native,
Oh, okay.
indigenous folk, people from all
And she's out
around
of
the
southern
world.
Oregon?
She is. She has passed,
Oh.
but we we represent not. We like to follow her teachings about water is life.
Yep, it's kind of an all hands on deck situation now. Had we been able to see into the future, maybe we wouldn't be managing fire in this way. Although across the nation there are more forests and other public agencies, land use agencies that are doing more prescribed burning at a low intensity. They'll pick times of year where it's cooler and wetter, so spring and fall, to do those. And New Mexico has been doing those as well, and as have other states in the Southwest. It just, in my opinion, it might be too late.
Because there's such a blend of tribes now.
Right.
There's not just one single tribe.
I just wonder, is it all word of mouth then?
A lot of word of mouth, yes. Traditional storytelling.
And so I've been trying to get more information on these. I was wondering, in 30 years with the forest and working at the mining sites on the forest, why I don't see gold pans, busted up gold pans. They should be all over the place, because there are a lot of gold miners out there. Well, I didn't know to look for this sort of thing. And so before about 1890, there's suddenly a lot of patents for one-piece gold pans. You take a sheet of metal and something presses it real hard, and those would be really sturdy. These could be made by tinsmiths. So all they needed was sheet metal. They cut out this, kind of angled shape here, and then a piece of heavy-duty wire to roll around the end, and then solder. So they could bring those supplies easily into these early mining camps, make the gold pans, and probably make good money selling them to local miners.